Tēnā koutou katoa, ladies and gents. My name is Mucky Hope, and welcome to another phenomenal recap of Traitors America, Season 3, Episode 5. I'm your host, Mucky Hope, and today I'm joined by three wonderful and very beautiful guests as well. And as always, I'll start off with a lovely lady on my right. She's got those bright pink headphones, which we all love to see. Ladies and gents, please welcome V.
Welcome, V.
You might hear heavy breathing. It's not just my excitement for this week's episode. It's also my dog that has decided to sit down right next to me and just breathe heavily through her mouth.
That is all good. I'd love to hear your dog's takes on this episode as well.
She has thoughts.
She has thoughts? Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I bet she's going barking mad at some of the decisions that some of the traders were making this episode. But you know, speaking of traders, we've got a winner with us, guys. Everyone, please welcome the Season 1 winner and legendary comedian and a phenomenal author as well, the legendary Sam Smith.
Yay!
How's it going, brother?
Very well, thank you. You may hear heavy breathing for me, but that's because I have asthma.
Oh, God.
I'm a huge week for me, traders-wise. I as you said, I won, and the moment that I won, all the people on the show were my friends because I'd worked with them in previous other shows, and we weren't allowed to talk to each other on the show, so it was so weird for me not being able to talk to genuinely my friends. So I, as the first thing I said when I could talk was, "Can I steal one of the silver bars?" And they let me do it. And this is my silver bar. I lost it, and I only found it during the week this week. So that's why this week is a big week for me.
Yay!
I watched this episode of Traitors US with my old silver bar. So
that's gonna be like the one ring for you now, right? You're just be holding onto it the whole time. You can start calling it precious.
Exactly right. It's my favorite thing. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings, so I don't know what you're talking about. But yes.
What?
Yeah.
Sam,
You are not a New Zealander if you have not seen Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. It's like the one thing that makes us famous apart from rugby.
See, I don't know about that, because it's all like it's Tolkien, who is British, and is he British? I don't know. I've been to Oxford, and I think he studied there, which is in England. So thank you. I feel like we're getting away from what we're talking about.
Yes.
But let's just say I'm not a true New Zealander. Okay, let's move on.
Awesome. But speaking, well, not exactly true New Zealander, but a true Aussie, we've got Michelle. But let's be honest, she's more like a win-shell because she just wins at everything she does. Everyone, please welcome the winning podcasters. I kind of lost where I was going with this, but everyone, it's Michelle.
Welcome, Winchell.
Welcome, Michelle. Woo!
I did not win the sun care today, Australia Day here. So been at the beach, tried my best, got a bit of a layer of skin and trauma, as they say.
Yeah.
I thought Australia Day was May 8. Like May 8.
Yeah.
Oh, not doing a joke. I genuinely thought that was it.
No.
Oh my God. That's a good one.
Okay, sorry. Maybe there was a movement to change it to then. Anyway, again, we're getting distracted.
Hashtag change the date, that whole thing.
Change the date to May.
May.
May. But now, welcome everyone. And, can I just say, V, what another phenomenal episode this week.
Yeah.
Like, every single episode has been 10 out of 10 for me so far. What's been your thoughts so far, 5 episodes into the season?
Gosh, I do love a famous reality player episode of any franchise, series of any franchise. I really do love it. I love it was good, sort of a good Rob episode. We had Chriselle being all freaked out because she was actually playing, and I think it's just adorable. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm playing and I don't like it." It was. We had facial expressions galore from Carolyn, the most insane facial expressions. Oh, it was a blast. Loved it.
Yeah, and Michelle, last week, pretty much since the very start, I've said that Rob, he's got this. He's got this in the bag, and even though there's a lot of sus on him, he somehow always finds a way. And I know last week we talked about like, oh, he's done for it. Danielle and Carolyn going to come for him. Wes has started the rumor of like, oh, it's only like a traitor would 100% know who else is a traitor. Rob. All eyes were on Rob, and he doesn't even get a single vote, Michelle.
I know. He turns it around. It's amazing. And even when he went up to Wes and asked him point blank, did you say this? I heard you said this. And the guy said no. And Rob's thinking, someone's told me you've said it. And he asked him again, no, I haven't said it. Like, I'm sorry. Just why wouldn't you say, yeah, I said that? Yeah, because you're found as a liar anyway. Like, just say it. I don't understand. But yeah, Rob's amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, Sam, that conversation between Wes and Rob, like I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh my gosh, like Wes is lying to Rob, but Rob kind of knows that Wes is lying. And it's just like this kind of like a confrontation. Or no, what's it called? But you got the two like cowboys, like, looking at each other. What was that? A shootout? No.
Yeah, shootout. Yeah.
Shootout? Standoff. That's what I was going with it. Standoff. We eventually found a way there.
My brain went to Mexican standoff, and I was like, that can't be a thing. But that's when you have three people, right?
Yes.
And then I was like, I probably can't call it a Mexican standoff, can I? Is that a thing?
Ooh.
I don't want to be cancelled, so I'm just going to stand back from what I said. If you can edit that out, that'd be great. Yeah, I'm kind of. So you guys coming in with your love of Rob, watching the episode, I just found it so frustrating because he's the baddie. You guys forget the traitors are the baddies, and you're like, "Wow, aren't they doing well?" Well, they're the baddies, and I felt like this whole episode was all about, man, Rob's just about to go, Danielle's just about to go. Oh, Carolyn's got some sus on her as well. But literally, it all like I feel like this round table should have been the last episode because it was all Nikki and Kira. So it feels like so weirdly delayed, and I think. Hats off to I think that's because of Rob's great works, because he is good, like you say. Always frustrated.
But speaking of something that's not frustrating, once again, hats off to great work. We've got the lovely TJ. I just want to know. I did not watch the episode yet, but I'm here for the great company. Well, I really appreciate you, TJ. You are an absolute legend. We all love you so much.
I can't believe 3 people died in this episode. Isn't that nuts? That was so crazy. And then they replaced Alan as well. TJ is in for an episode.
With Bob. We're replacing with Bob the Drag Queen.
Can I say, legitimately, Alan walked into the breakfast wearing a fairly normal suit. And I was like, because Bob's gone, we called it. It's great. But then when we get to the mission, he's dressed as the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
How can you call a green, what was it, lame suit normal? I actually was trying to find out what material it was. Like, what the hell? That is, I suppose it's normal for him.
Yeah, I thought he looked like the Wizard of Oz, and I've just seen Wicked, so I was like, oh, that's a fairly normally outfit for him. Sometimes he wears big. Last week he wore turf. He wore an actual suit.
Yes. And when they did enter the church and he's standing there like this, I wrote in my notes, oh my God, he is the best host, hands down. He looked like Jesus standing there with things hanging, the air just golden around him. I'm like, oh my God, he's the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking of the best thing ever, I saw a post recently, I think it was from an interview that Bob the Drag Queen had done, of a moment that was not part of the show, where apparently Bob the Drag Queen was getting mic'd up and looked over at Carolyn, and they were talking about kids. And Bob was like, we don't have any kids. And then Carolyn apparently looked at Bob and said, my son is dead. And Bob was mortified, and that how could he look at a woman whose son had passed away and be like, you don't even have any kids? And Bob was apologizing over and over again. And then when Bob went over to Dolores and said, I didn't know Carolyn's son had died, Dolores said, no, she said, my son is 10.
That is so funny.
It's like, oh my gosh,
So funny.
that's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine that. My son is 10. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I wasn't aware. Oh no, that must be awful for you.
And Caroline's like, now they're not even listening when I talk.
Yeah.
They
don't
did have
believe
a lot
me.
this episode,
They
didn't it?
They
Yeah.
don't think I do anything well, and now they're not even listening to me.
Just when she walked into the breakfast room, and who was it that said she just looks disheveled? Like
Yeah.
the faces she was pulling as she walked in. I'm like, stop, just be normal. Looking at
No,
you.
that's
Probably
her
just went
thing.
up the stairs.
That's her thing, right? I think she's a genius. People think that she's so cuckoo and wacko and not doing anything, but that's the distraction. That's the thing. Like, well, it could never be her because she's crazy. But then it is her. I think it's brilliant. She does. It is weird. Don't get me wrong. It'll get to the point where we'll be like, let's get rid of the weirdo because you can't read her at all. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something
that.
about Caroline is that she did make the finale of season 44, and something about it was that from straight away people had put her sort of on the outcast, and I still recall one of the greatest moments is when she got the birdcage idol, and it was like left open and stuff like that, and it was obviously someone had tampered with it, but everyone else on the tribe was together when they found it, but they didn't even suspect Caroline had it because they were like, "There's no way Caroline would have been able to pull this off."
Yeah.
So they all start suspecting each other, but she had it. And it's like the whole tribe was together and they still couldn't believe it would have been Carolyn. But, you know, phenomenal player.
Amazing. And Danielle says, at the beginning of the episode, she wants to, be the silent assassin of Rob. I'm like, good luck with that. I'm sorry. You'd never be a silent assassin because someone would tell Rob what you're planning. You couldn't do it. And then she's going for Carolyn at the end because I think she realizes she can't get Rob.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess let's quickly talk about that. Danielle and Carolyn are both very upset at Rob when they go into, what's it called? The Traitors turret. And, like Rob's like, hey, like, we're a team, let's work together. And they're like, no, you just took one of like our own out. And Rob's like, well, it's because Bob was coming for me. But I think Carolyn said it perfectly where it's like, well, Bob didn't really say your name, like specifically, right? Like Bob sort of just threw out an idea of, one of those three guys. Michelle, what's your sort of thoughts on that?
Bob shouldn't have said that. He was stupid. That was his downfall. You wouldn't say that even if you thought, I can implicate the other two. You would say a different name rather than put Rob in with the three guys. Like, sure. I mean, sorry, Rob. Sorry, Bob. Bob did the wrong thing.
What I think is really good about this episode is that Robin was murdered and we've lost Bob the drag queen. So we now just have Rob and Bob. So it's a lot easier to follow with the Robin, Bob situation. So that's great.
But V, something I was thinking about was, you recall how in Traitors New Zealand, when Mike took out Whitney, the first thing he said to Jane was, Whitney was coming to you. Because obviously no one can, defend that. Like that's how that's how Jane like started to trust Mike a little bit. It's like, okay, he was at least trying to look after me a little bit. Do you think Rob should have done something similar with Bob? Just be like, Bob was throwing out Carolyn's name? Well,
see, I don't think Rob it doesn't seem like he's looking to work with Danielle or Carolyn long term. So I don't think he's interested in gaining any of that sort of relationship or anything like that. I think he doesn't need it. But what I did think was interesting is, they're pretty pissed at Rob because of Bob being voted out. They go into the turret. Who are they going to murder? Rob says Robin. And Carolyn and Danielle both say no. Who's murdered? Robin. He still has that influence. And I know that, Danielle was sort of just going along with it because she has her own long-term plans for Rob, which we'll get to later. But I just found that really fascinating that immediately, it's Rob's way again, straight up.
Yeah.
Because he obviously always has a convincing story and convincing reasons as to why he does what he does. and maybe the other reasons didn't hold water, so they just went with him anyway because there's had holes in it.
Well, they'd probably think that anyway, just because Rob is so convincing.
I think the different. I think what he does is he actually thinks about like other people in other situations, whereas on the show, mostly everyone else is just thinking about themselves. And I think by then explaining that, no, you've only been thinking about yourself and you've only been thinking about yourself, there are these other things in play as well. What happens if we then think about all of those is that it actually means that we end up doing the thing that I wanted to do, which will actually help you guys as well for some reason. And that's why they end up always going with the people who think about the other things that are going on in the show.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, something I sort of took away from it, maybe it's because I'm still a young gun that I sort of thought about this. But it's kind of like when your manager or like your teacher like tells you off for something that you kind of believe is right, it's the right thing to do. Like maybe you gave like a discount to a customer or something like that because it's something minor, but then that probably wasn't the best thing to do. And it's kind of like you can't really argue against them because they are your boss.
Yes.
Like, do you think that sort of comparison could have been made? Like, oh, I want to argue against Rob, but he literally just betrayed Bob. Yeah,
could be to a point. If he's making his voice, be heard more than the others, then yes, they can think that he might be a bit of a authority figure. But I don't think Danielle wants to accept that anyway. As Danielle said, she wants to get rid of Caroline so she can get another traitor who she can work with. I mean, why can't she work with Caroline? What's wrong with Caroline? Obviously, she can't work with Rob because she thinks Rob obviously just, railroads her and says what he wants. And does what
you can't work with someone that you don't trust, eh? That's it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there would be a new chapter in Rob's, Survivor reality TV book, right? He's done everything he could have done across the board, but has he ever taken himself out? I don't think so. Just be like, Rob, you've done everything under the sun, but you should really take yourself out. So you've done literally everything you potentially could have done.
When I was at high school, I played football and soccer for you Australians, and we and Americans. And whenever at the start of every game, I always pitch this to the team that we just start by aggressively scoring an own goal, and then everyone will be like, what the hell just happened? And they'd be so confused that we'd then score 2 quick goals and then we'd be 1-up. That was my plan. I thought that would be amazing. And no one ever agreed with it because I'm like Carolyn and no one really listened.
Well, Sam, you would have loved me on your team because there's one great memory I have. We also goalkeeper. And I went to go kick the ball, but bounced off my shoe the wrong way and it went behind me.
God.
That
one of the best stuff-ups I've ever had.
That is, I don't even know how that works with physics, but it sounds hilarious.
Yeah. Ironically enough, that was the last game my dad went to as well to watch me play football. So.
Oh, sad.
But anyways, let's quickly move on. We reached to the breakfast, and unfortunately, Robin is dead. And Michelle, when it was announced that Robin was dead, I kind of felt like it was a bad move. Because in the first 3 episodes, there's a lot of heat on Robin, especially, of being a traitor, like Robin and Bob the drag queen. I kind of feel like you need to keep these,
but you've still got the other 2 girls. You still got the other 2 have got heat on them. So you don't need to keep all of them.
Yeah.
And especially if she's deducing stuff. You need to kill off someone who's deducing, but also a target and not deducing so much that they're pointing the finger directly at them. You want to get rid of those kinds of people.
I reckon this is Rob's doing, and I think what he's doing is he's realizing that he's in a trio with two other females, and that he knows that they've found a male traitor. It probably then makes sense that there's a female traitor. So the more female traitors that he can murder off, the fewer suspects there are to be a female traitor left in, which means the more likely they then banish that person and they get another traitor. So I think he'd be going along that kind of line to play the gender game, which is one of those. It's one of those things that they don't really include in the show because it's a bit meta. It's a bit sort of outside of it. Who would, production would pick a balance of genders normally, and which isn't always the case. But that's just the way your brain works. And so I think again it's quite a smart move for Rob to murder any female, keeps more dudes in the group to make it harder for people to think that it's him.
Yeah, and I think I mean when I watch the Mole series that I talked about before, I'm always looking back at old seasons. How many males had there been? How many females? What do you think? What are the probability of there being a female or a male this time? So I do think along those lines as well.
Yeah. You use everything in your power to try and figure things out, even if it's because you just have no idea when you're faithful, when you're sitting there not knowing who you can trust. You just do absolutely anything to try and work it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do see Rob is starting to scramble a wee bit as well. I think he definitely realizes, like Ivar, we definitely got to talk about him. Like, whose side is he actually on? He's telling Rob that, like, oh, Wes is saying your name, and then he's going around to like, actually, no, Rob, it could actually be you. And then my dad was like, whose side are you on, Ivar? But we do see Rob. He pulls Carolyn aside. He's like, oh, I hope you know that, like, I would never turn on you. It would make no sense. But Karen's obviously not buying it. And
no one's buying anything up in that turret.
Yeah,
true. Everyone's so against each other.
They're the most chaotic traitors I think we've ever seen. All three against all three of them. And they've already voted out one of them already. It's nuts.
Well, Michelle, do you think it's potentially because like it's a reality TV all-star cast? That's why they're kind of already against each other?
Probably because they know each other. Some of them would know each other quite well, and they'd know how they act and how fierce they might be. So it might be scarier for them actually knowing a bit of background about people than not knowing anybody.
Yeah, true. Well, V, do you think Karen potentially missed an opportunity on calling out to other people that Rob is trying to scramble everywhere?
I think you can really see that the influence that knowing who Rob is changing the gameplay because, like Danielle said, you have to be really, really careful. And Carolyn knows that. She knows. I think if this was a Stranger season, they would have tried to banish Rob this episode and failed probably. So everyone's being really careful. I don't know who Danielle thinks she can pair with better than Carolyn in order to take out Rob. I don't know. Maybe Brittany is the only thing I can think of. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what her plan is, or if her plan is just going to make Rob more suspicious of her, but he's probably planning on getting rid of both of them anyway.
Do you think anyone has noticed the fact that Rob only ever talks to people one-on-one and he just fully goes into rooms and be like, hey, can I talk to you just us two? He does it so often.
Yeah, he does do it more than anything else. Yeah.
And that's the way that you can't then get called up later on. That's the reason why he does it. But the fact that he's doing that is so sus. You'd think.
Well, they're probably thinking, oh, I wish he'll pull me in next.
Yeah.
I want a private conversation with Rob.
Yeah.
Because I saw him on Survivor. I'm a big fan. I would love to see it. It's something that Dylan said during the show.
We said
you can control the conversation more. You can spin it off in another direction, which you can't if there's two people there.
One of the things we had in our season is Brooke Howard-Smith is a bit like Rob, and that just a great talker. You could listen to him talk for all the time. He's got ADHD, so he does constantly talk. We'd have production come in and be like, "Hey guys, shut up!" and then Brooke would be like, "Yeah, come on guys, just quiet down." They're like, "No, we're talking to you, Brooke. Shut up." He's like, "Okay, yep, cool. We'll all be quiet." But no, you. Yes, cool. We'll be quiet. We'll all be quiet now. So he kept on doing it. And by doing that, if you hear the voice so much, you kind of learn to tune it out like kids do with their parents' voices. And I wonder if there's a bit of that going on where when you hear so much of Rob's voice going on, you kind of be like, "Oh, cool, he's trying to figure it out. Let's we'll just kind of tune it out." Then you don't.
Sam, did you tune out ever on your season? Like, weren't you listening 100% all the time?
Trying to, yeah. But it's a long show, and you need just time where you just sit there and think. You get a lot of that. The worst part is when they make you sit down and not talk, like when they're setting up different shots or different areas where you can go and talk. You have to just sit there and try to talk to other people. We managed to, towards the end of the show, we managed to let us play a game of chess while we were waiting. Guys, I don't want to brag, but I absolutely smashed Brooke Howard Smith at chess.
Awesome. Well, actually, you could almost make that a strategy, almost, right? Because Michelle, we saw that one of the recent New Era Survivor seasons where Q got everyone to play a game of hide and seek, and like the people who we found first, he didn't really see them as much of a threat because, like, they hid in bad places. But the one who hid really, really well, Q was like, those are the people I've got to watch out for.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
I feel like you could almost maybe apply that to chess, right? Just be like, if they're like really good at chess, they're very strategic thinker. You got to maybe watch out for them. Yeah.
He should have.
Yeah. Obviously, that was your strategy from the get-go, right? Like, make Traitors New Zealand force everyone to play chess.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, we do reach the mission. And Sam, once again, another phenomenal mission, right? Like, did they also do this in the UK as well?
No, they haven't done. They didn't do this one in the UK.
Okay.
It was a brand new mission that I've ever seen. I think the most memorable thing about this is one, I became a big fan of Ivor because he immediately said, "I can't read the words on the thing, so this isn't going to be one for me." And I was like, "My guy, cool." Now I'm rooting for the British guy on this show.
Yeah.
The sort of, anyway, and then Danielle just not getting game strategy.
Yeah. That was so bad.
You have an opportunity to save
Like,
yourself, and she picks other people not once but twice, and just a crazy thing to go on. And then the fact that this has happened, and still no mention of this later in the round table.
No,
I know, and even someone said to her, "Aren't you scared of getting murdered?"
Yeah.
Like, we did say it in the church.
Because the rest of us are so petrified. We're so keen to get shields the whole time. You've just done none of it. And somehow they end up going back to the thing they talked about yesterday, how that one of the people in the coffin is going to be a traitor, where absolutely not. That's not the case ever.
Yeah.
That line is still going on. I thought it was quite frustrating. But the mission was kind of cool. They got to bash things, and there was like gold dust. Sweet.
Yeah.
Except when the first thing came out, the first riddle, I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean? What? Read it again. Rewind. What does that mean? Like, I could get most of them, but the first one, I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Bob just jumps up and is like, I don't know. I didn't understand it, but I'm going to have a hoon of guessing one of the 900 jars there. I've got one in 900. That's cool. But it was gold, wasn't it?
Yes, it was gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I had to pull this plug, but, we've got the Bambi Alliance, which was obviously made because of Bambi Dead Reckoning is coming out later on this year. But I felt like with all the gold dust, it looked a lot like pixie dust, which reminds me that Peter Pan Neverland of Nightmares is actually currently in movie cinemas. One of the greatest horror films ever, and I'm so excited to watch it. So basically, Michelle, have I told you about all these movies? Okay. I'll quickly summarize it. So Winnie the Pooh and all of his friends have now gone out of the
I've seen a clip of Winnie the Pooh in some horror thing, and I'm like, I'm not even looking at that.
It's one of the greatest movies ever made, Michelle, but they're making a whole cinematic universe out of it. And the one currently out at the moment is where Peter Pan is going around collecting a bunch of lost boys, and he's like a murderous, child abducting psychopath. And it's amazing. And you got a movie about Bambi going around killing people coming around.
In this movie, is Peter Pan still a little flying elf little boy?
I think he's more of a grown man now.
Nice. Like a hook. That was good.
This is
Yes,
twisted.
yes. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway,
I think my general thought with these missions is any ones that have little riddles like this, the riddles are often fairly easy. So I think that first one they were like, oh, we'll put in a slightly harder one to make people panic, but then all the rest of them were like, I have hands and directions and I am a compass. What am I? You sit on me to do poos and wheeze. What am I?
A balcony.
Yeah. You would be amazing on this show.
Thank you. Yeah, I recall like a very similar challenge happened for Traitors Australia season 2, and I was covering it with Chris at the time. And Chris decided to give me some on-the-spot riddles to do. Now, bear in mind, he was telling me these riddles at like 11:30 p.m. my time. And looking back, those are some of the most obvious riddles you could ever think of. I think one of them, the answer was a clock. But I just could never, I never got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess sometimes if your brain is in the wrong place, if you're thinking about something else, even a simple thing can turn out to be really tricky.
Yeah. But then again, if you're going to get it wrong, at least get it wrong with 100% confidence, right? I am certain it is this.
Yeah. I like the fact that they had to jump over a line of candles. That was cool. I like that.
It was quite dramatic, especially when multiple people jumped at the same time.
No, well, one of them jumped after the other one. He stood up after someone had already walked over. I'm like, what are you doing?
Just stay seated.
Was just going to fall over?
Yeah.
Another interesting thing about the mission is that a lot of people were just like, cool, the numbers don't work. There are only 2 shields. There are still 100 of us. I'm just going to sit back and not do the mission. And I'm not going to cause any, I'm not going to make any enemies. That's what Wes said. And I think I totally relate to that. That's great.
Yeah.
But you have to think about how many questions are they going to have. I've got to do near the end. It's a bit like doing the survivor option. You've got to make sure you go at the right time. And I probably, if I was sitting there, I'd probably wait for question 6 and then try.
I wonder if they knew how many questions there were.
I don't think they would have. I think it would have been like survivor auction. This could finish at any time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if they did that.
Would have answered anything.
It would be so funny if they did that and it went for hours. Like they had 100 questions. They did actually have all the things. They went through every single one of them. But then the other thing I was thinking of, what if you picked a jar that was correct for a different question?
That's what I was thinking.
I wondered that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he picked that, there must have been a bank of questions, and then if they picked a jar for a different question, they didn't use that question. There must have been extra questions on the list.
But I totally get that. But like once Bob didn't get gold, and you can see that there's gold there, you could just go and get the gold one for any of the questions and just smash that one. You've got the gold dust in your.
Well, no, because it wouldn't pertain to that question as an answer.
The producer would step in and go, no.
Yeah.
The only thing with Traitors, and maybe slightly different with the reality one, there was so little producer interference in the show, like next to none. It was crazy. It's unlike any other show I've ever worked on, and I think that's a hack. I think you could just answer the previous one because they didn't say you have to get the question right. They said you will see if the question is right by what color the dust in the thing is.
Something I thought about was maybe they had all the right jars all together and all the wrong jars all together, but they'd always like swap one or so out. And it's like, all right, everyone, we're going to do a changeover. Turn around, look the other way.
True. Yes, like and they cut out that bit. They go get the gold one. It was gold. They take it out and they put the black jar in there. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Otherwise, how funny would it be if it's like a question regarding like what was like Sarah's one was all about like a heart, but then she throws down like a shield. It's like, oh, a shield is the most important part of the body, and That was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be so great.
I love it when you, in those sort of missions, anything when it's on TV and it's a little quiz and you hear the first part of a thing and you get it right. I had it from, I'm roughly the size of a fist. Oh, that'll be a heart. And without me, you would die. I was like, oh, it's definitely a heart.
Yeah.
So smart.
I was watching it by myself here. My family's away this weekend. I was just like, heart. It's a heart. Heart.
Yeah.
I got it.
We should have been watching together, Sam. Because
do
I don't watch this with anybody else, and I'm just going, heart.
We got it. We got it. We might have to do a live a stream of us watching it sometime.
Goggle box.
Maybe.
Mucky box.
Mucky box. Oh, yuck.
Mucky box. Excuse me. What do you have against my box, Sam? Right.
I call it the box of hope.
Oh.
See,
or is that shit? I don't
know. But you know, we talked about it a little bit with Danielle giving out the 2 shields to different people. I think with the first one, she kind of got away with it, with giving it to Derek, right?
Yeah.
Sort of like, hey, like I'm here to like, you know, help you and all that sort of stuff. Oh wait, no, it was for Derek. It was
No,
for
the first one was to a housewife.
That's right. It's for Dolores, yeah. So I feel like she kind of got away with that because, you know, it is a housewife, so they keep constantly getting, like, murdered. So I was like, oh, at least she's kind of getting away with that. But then when she did it a second time and was, like, trying to, like, cry and be like, oh, I'm so scared of getting murdered. No.
It was so dumb. Yeah. It's the sort of mistake that should get you voted out, like, straight away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was that day that they would have gone straight from that. They might actually film it on 2 separate days, but the next thing they would have done is to go to the round table. It's so frustrating.
See, for Traitors New Zealand, they vote you out for saying, hang on, give me 2 seconds to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, poor Stephen. I'll never get over that one. That's so
Okay.
just give me 2 seconds. Oh, traitor. We need to all banish him.
But that's because it's not a blank slate like Traitors New Zealand was. There's all these preconceived ideas of everything. So they're not, I mean, I agree with Sam. I think it's crazy that wasn't even brought up again. And maybe it will in future episodes, but it was such a mistake. And I can't believe it wasn't brought up again. But everyone else has their own ideas of what they want to do based on knowing the people.
Yeah, we got sort of yesterday's round table today for this one. I wonder if the next one will all be about like Danielle being like screwing things up, and then talking about Rob having voted off doing the confident vote against Bob the Drag Queen 2 days ago, and then we'll get that in tomorrow's episode, and then the next one it'll all be one off. Yeah, that makes sense because of the time difference, right?
Yeah,
so
the time
I'm going to hold you to that, and we'll see if that happens.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Would that work out well for people? Because then we'd have the final would be about the things that happened the day before. And that would work out, I think.
Yeah. See, Sam, what we need you to do is we need you to go and play Traitors America because you can be like the Kimberly of the cast, right? You can see the future because you're a whole day ahead of them, right? Yeah.
I would be eaten alive in this show. I would be like Dylan is the quietest person in the show. Maybe Sam and Dylan, I would say, are the 2 quietest people in this version of the show. And those 2 people would be so much louder than I was. People, you wouldn't know I was there.
Well, that's what's so great about Sam, right? Like,
me, Sam,
like,
or
I guess both of them. Britney Spears Sam, right? It's like every week I keep forgetting he's in the cast.
Yeah.
And then he'll say one thing, which, you know, he said at the round table, if Rob's not dead, I'm coming for him next week.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't even realize you were there.
I had a moment this week which I felt a bit bad. There was someone sitting at the breakfast table and I was like, I've got no idea who that is. And that might be because of my vision, but luckily they cut to a thing of her later on and it was Dolores. She was wearing her hair differently, I think. And so I was just like, oh, that's who that is. Oh yeah, that's right. She is here.
Yeah.
I remember her from that first mission when she was on a raft. And then it's now 4 episodes later and we haven't had much from her.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, I was looking at my list of players just before, and I was like, Dolores, she must have gone home very early.
Yeah. So I wonder if she's maybe either not long for this world, or she makes it all the way to the end, and they're saving her stuff till later.
Maybe. And
Purple edit.
Yes. I feel like there has been a new edit for Sam though, Michelle, because I feel like he's way beyond purple.
Yeah.
I mean, like, do you even remember the Sam's on the show?
Yeah, he actually had a bit more of a say in the first episode, didn't he? And now he's sort of gone quiet.
I don't remember, to be honest.
Didn't he?
I don't know. I feel like Tom had a pretty big edit in the first episode.
Oh, maybe I'm talking about Tom, not
because
Sam.
Tom and Chriselle have that history of Tom's ex. But honestly, I get Sam and Tom mixed up all the time.
My brother's name is Thomas, so like my life has been me being called Tom. So this is nice that this is happening. I thought he did an amazing thing about how Voldemort's old name was Tom Riddle. I thought, well, kind of, but
actually, I feel like Tom had some pretty great moments in this episode. Like when Chriselle was like, Tom, like, I feel like this isn't a surprise as she takes the shield down and puts her portrait up on the shield. And then even after the banishment, Thomas like, what does it say? It was, hey, Chriselle, I know you don't like me, but I'm glad you spoke up. I love Tom. And like his eyes, I feel like he should be part of the Bambi crew because his eyes are always just burning. Like,
no, he should be everywhere. He should have his own crew called like the Shark Crew because he's just like, he's just always staring at him so menacingly.
I have a question. At sometime after they get back to the house, Caroline's told that Danielle said her name in the car. Who told Caroline?
It was Dylan.
Was it?
Yeah.
And Caroline's face just has a million expressions that I couldn't possibly even do.
Yeah. Well, we do see a lot of the action before it becomes Sierra and Nikki is Danielle trying to get Caroline out. And this always happens in almost every Survivor season. I want to weaken Boston Rob. So in order to do that, I got to take out one of his allies or someone else to make his numbers weaker. But do you know what would actually make him pretty weaker, V? Take him out!
Yeah.
I know. It's a thing. If you're going to shoot, you've got to hit. I actually don't know how you could possibly do it. I don't know.
You couldn't. You can't.
It'd have to be someone he doesn't expect, like getting a Dylan or something to quietly get a group together. Something like that. Someone really unassuming and quiet.
It would get back to him.
because everyone wants to be the one that says, someone's been saying your name, Robert. I told you.
Yeah.
I don't know how she's going to do it. I don't know how getting rid of Carolyn's going to do it. I don't know who Danielle thinks she can work with that will give her a better chance. I'm a little bit confused there.
Yeah.
And the best line of the episode was Carolyn at the end.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to get into that.
Let's head to the turret and tell who we want to murder. Each other!
That's right.
It was hysterical.
This show, the format is made so that you have lots of like cliffhanger things. There's like, who's going to show up to breakfast? Who are they going to murder? And this is the thing they're teasing is the actual decision on who they're going to murder. Like it's a full step back from what they normally do. It's a crazy way to do this show that does have normal moments of drama built into it anyway. They've got this edit. It's so weird.
Yeah,
I'd love them to have at least the conversation at the end of the episode, and then you have the breakfast. Like what? Most of the other traders have done that. This time we have to wait a whole week before we hear the conversation.
Do you know what I think this will be? And I think because we've kind of seen this in earlier episodes, I think this is they're gonna have a bit of a yell. Each one will have a wee yell, and then they'll be like, "Hey, no, okay, cool. We do have to make a decision now," and then it'll all calm down. I reckon it'll be like that. Because then they'll move straight into the thing, and then it'll be because that's kind of what happened when we thought Carolyn and Danielle were going to be super angry with Rob for voting out Bob the drag queen, and then it wasn't much of a thing. He just sort of explained what happened, and then it kind of smoothed it all over. So I reckon that'll probably be what happens again.
Well, I don't know. I do want to save it for a bit later on in the podcast, but I feel like next week's episode is going to be a very fiery episode. And, we eventually reached the round table, and, it's between Nikki and Sarah. Once again, as you said, Sam, this is pretty much last week's round table into this week's round table. And it kind of broke my heart seeing Chriselle be so sad. It's like, oh, you've always seemed like such a positive, happy person, but like she was really, you can tell she was very upset, and that it was such a hard decision for her.
I know.
To actually, go after Nikki this way.
She's not a gamer. She's from Selling Sunset. You look pretty and sell houses. That's the whole point. She's on Neighbours. That's what she's used to, and it just freaked her out to actually play it, because her persona on Selling Sunset is that on all of these sort of reality shows is that they want to look like the nice person and very honest and getting things right. And, they'll come for people if they should. Whereas you could tell she saw this as just an absolute betrayal, and she was not cut out for it. And I don't think she'll continue. I think, did we lose someone last US season because it got too real? I feel like we did.
Oh, but it was like a professional boxer, and
I could see Chriselle going that way as well. I hope not, because she's an honorary Australian and I wanted to stay. But it broke my heart.
Did you say she's on Neighbours?
She's on Neighbours. Yeah.
Crazy. As a real estate agent?
I think so. Yeah. And I don't think long term. I think it was because G Flip is Australian and she's sort of Chriselle is doing the Australian thing. I think she lives in Australia now. But on Selling Sunset, she's always just trying to be really pious. And she's also terrible on that as well. Like, she's the worst. But they all have this, they have to have the appearance of doing the right thing and calling people out when they need to, that sort of thing. And so just to betray someone is just not part of a brand.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah, very funny.
It's being ridiculous.
You would have said that at the round table as well, Michelle. I know. You would have gone, Chriselle, you're being ridiculous. Just stop it.
Stop.
Calm down.
We're not even listening to you anymore. Just shut up.
Just relax. It's a game. Calm down. It's fine.
The adults are playing here, Chriselle. So maybe go have a ware over there and we can finish this off later.
Something interesting is that we do see both Ivor and Bob take a small shot at Rob. Ivor, once again,
didn't last very long.
It really didn't. I feel like Rob actually had a pretty good. I mean, it wasn't really that good. He was sort of just like talking about how Bob the Drag Queen's reactions to him accusing Bob, and how that made him more of a traitor rather than what the original Bob was a traitor in the first place. But once again, Rob speaks.
I've got a question for Sam. You know how on Survivor the tribal councils go for a lot longer than what we see. A lot longer, like usually 4 times as long. How long are they in Traitors, the round tables?
Pretty long. I think, especially because I think overseas ones are even longer than our ones. Ours would have gone for, half an hour, 40 minutes.
Okay.
And I've heard that they're longer in these other ones because they just want everyone to talk and everyone have their say, and then they edit it down, which is why you get those scenes where someone will say something and then they'll cut to someone who'll be like, just going back to that thing you said before, which we've just literally seen 1 second ago, when that probably actually happened like 5 minutes ago. So quite a long time. And and then I was when I was on it, I would always just be listening to everyone. I'd be like, okay, cool, I've got something to say now. I'd be like, hey, could we? And then Paul would be like, the time for talk is over. And I'd be like, God damn it. I have something. I finally had something. Which is why I think I talk in 2 round tables, one in episode 2 and one in episode 9.
Really?
No, 2 and 10. 2 and 10. It was the final one. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and then one other one I say, what is this? What's going on? Something like that. Those are my.
Oh, so it really makes you look like you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was about like Kings. It was Kings. Anyway, no, I'll do a whole other episode about this.
Awesome. And we do see, the votes come out, and it's pretty much a landslide against Nikki. Everyone votes for Nikki except for Dylan, who randomly throws a vote onto Gabby, and he's just like, I don't think it's Nikki.
Yeah.
Where did Gabby come from?
He had voted for her before, I think.
Okay.
Or had brought her name. No, I think he did vote for her like a couple of episodes ago.
Okay.
I think this is so dangerous if you know someone is going to be voted for, just vote for that person, because then you're not creating an enemy later on.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason that I managed to get to the end of my season was I luckily voted for everyone that left. So I never had to sort of make up to anyone after I'd wronged them, which was such you don't have to do any any fix up work straight away afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen this latest UK season, but I'm still pretty sure you hold the most number of people voted out in any Trader season, and also the most number of traders voted out in any season as well, Sam.
I think that's true, which is pretty amazing. Really, once again, really fluked my way into that, but it's, every time I watch a new season, in episode 1, when they're voting out for the first person and it's Faithful, I'm like, yes, we still got it, yeah. I'm not the person. I haven't voted for the most traitors. I think that is Evie from UK season 2. I think she's voted. She voted for 7 traitors. I voted for 6 traitors. However, I voted for 6 traitors as they left. And she voted for 7. Oh, the same one multiple times, something like that.
Oh, okay. But I guess
I still have my technical wins.
You got them out. Yeah, you still actually got them out though.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't just like a thrown away vote like Evie's.
Yeah,
she was great. I genuinely think she's so much better at the game than I am.
Yeah, and this is where we get the dramatic moment of the end of the episode where Dylan comes up to Carolyn. It's just like, Carolyn, I don't want to stir up trouble, but I feel like I just need to tell you. But Danielle is spreading your name around, and you brought up earlier, Michelle, Carolyn's face. Oh, I love Carolyn's facials. Like, it's just so, it's just so good.
She looks like she's going, what?
What?
Like that. She's incredible.
Yeah, and and I guess too,
we just need that in every just down the bottom, just her watching every episode from here on out. Her at the bottom making those faces, going,
yes,
yeah,
love it.
Next, with the tagline, what the hell, Tony?
Oh yeah, what the
hell, Tony?
That's right. What the hell, Tony? And I guess this way now we can talk all about Carolyn, right? So we see in the next time on, she's in the Traitors turret, and she immediately just stares right into Danielle, and we see that this whole argument between her and Danielle, and Rob trying to calm everyone down. But then we shows a clip of the round table where Carolyn's like almost crying and is screaming like, "You're the one who's like been like distracting everyone to Danielle, causing all the drama." Is this finally this next episode finally the episode where Carolyn's voice is finally heard, where she finally makes the big move that we've all been hoping for?
I don't know. We don't know.
I hope so. I didn't see that, so I'm very excited. You just described it to me. That's because it didn't show up on my 10 play.
Oh, on 10 play.
So now I know. Yeah, you describing it is the first I heard of it, and I'm hooked.
I'll see if I can stream it to you after this podcast. But it's gets me so hot.
Yeah.
So and no one's talking about Rob. Just no one likes it.
I think what they've done with that edit as well is because they haven't brought up anyone's names about who's going to be murdered. They can't show anyone who is not in that list of names. That's not what they normally do. It's going to be one of these 3 people, so they can show those other people in the coming up, and so they can't do it that time. So they just had to, so the only people that appear in that teaser are the three traitors.
Traitors.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
I still record the small stuff up they did in the last American season. It was the episode before Dan Giesen got voted out, where he took the big risk in trying to murder someone who had the shield. Because then the next time on, it showed a wide shot of the whole round table, and if you count everyone, you were able to figure out that Dan's plan didn't work.
Yeah.
So I think they're desperately trying to avoid that again. There's no more spoilers on anyone, but
I think there was a trailer of our season that showed the names we had voted for, like in a shot, and you could be like, oh well, Dan gets voted out that episode. I think the Dan on our season as well.
Oh, really?
I think so, and that was like episode 5. So that was
Yes. Oh
you could really figure it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
It must be so hard to put together trailers for this show without giving stuff away.
Yeah. I just find it hard to make a trailer in general. Like, I remember when I was at South Seas, I was trying to make a trailer for like a short film I'd made, and I was like, I don't even know what I want to put in.
Yeah.
Like, what can I put in that isn't spoiling anything, but will also capture people? So you need like a juicy amount of plot, but not too much plot, because then people will figure out what the film's all about and won't watch it. And it's just too many different things, and it's just, I don't know.
Well, we saw that Mucky with the waterfall edit, didn't we?
The waterfall edit.
Oh, yes, the waterfall.
What's
in
the
Amazing Race. Well, they have the coming up on this season of The Amazing Race, and there was a shot of one of the contestants standing in front of a waterfall. And so you knew he wasn't going until he stood in front of that waterfall.
Oh, yeah.
And that happened in like the second to last episode.
Oh, yeah.
So we knew he wasn't being eliminated.
Yeah, same with Kings in our season, who when we did the lasers mission, you were always like, Kings is sticking around for this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There's no lasers.
I completely forgot
it's
about
in the trailer
that.
every night.
Yeah, that's right. I
Cool.
completely forgot about that. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
that was a good mission. That was wicked.
Who has shields? Who has shields?
Oh yes. I wrote it
who
down.
got a shield.
So
Sierra and Dolores got the shields.
Okay, so they're not going. They're not being murdered.
They should have murdered Sierra because she had a shield, and then got Nikki the next day. I feel like Nikki just didn't fight. She didn't fight for a thing. She just, and that's what she said in her exit speech as well. Just like, don't judge people because they're different from you. It's such a horrible thing to say to me. You judge people who are different from you. I'm a faithful. Goodbye. It feels like she. It's so different from the UK, where everyone finishes by saying, "Thank you, I've had such a wonderful time, and you guys are lovely people." This one is like, "Fuck you, get it, I'm out of here. You guys are shit. You are bad people. I'm a faithful."
Yeah.
But the thing about Traitors is it is all about judging. It's all about judging other people.
Chriselle was reading energies.
Yeah.
So, you know, she didn't read it terribly well, but she was reading the energy.
Yeah. That's such a strange that I'm actually a person that can read energies. No, you're not. That's not a thing.
Well, isn't there you
get vibes?
Isn't there like a physics thing though, where it's kind of got like those bars and you can like read the electricity based off people and stuff? Surely she's just carrying around that.
Yeah, she has
She's like,
she has a current meter that measures the
yeah. There we go.
Just like
yeah.
That's the thing they use on Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's what I was
one of those. She's got a proton pack that she uses.
There'll be such a great round table argument to be like, now I had a conversation with Rob and I, stitched him up and my, like current meter was going through the roof. He was so stressed, he had so much energy. That's very traitorous behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm reading some.
TJ's reading energy while we.
Whoa! What? No, I'm a positive guy.
I just saw something as well. It wasn't Mucky's chess rating. Well, I have a cousin who's very good at chess. He even studied and read so many different strategies on how to win chess. And I've been playing chess with him for pretty much all my life, right? So I'm 23 years old. So if you were to times that by 2, because there's 2 of us, and then if you were to divide it by, there's 13 pieces, right? So if you add all that up, I am really
16
bad.
pieces each.
Yeah, I'm really bad. I suck at chess.
You've been playing chess for 23 years and you've been playing with 5 fewer pieces than you actually have in the game. So that's cool. Sorry, no, I've got it's 16 pieces, so there will be only 3 pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, so and that's why I keep on losing. I always start off with 3 less pieces. Like, oh, where did my king go? Oh,
yeah.
what about my default?
You can't get into checkmate if you don't have a king. That's a smart move.
Exactly. But
who do you guys think? Who do you guys think is going to get murdered? Who do you think?
Lord Ivor.
Because he's putting out names.
I don't think Rob would have liked that round table comment that Ivor's like, so I'm just going to start the meeting by making sure I have an agenda of every name that's been spoken about this week. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. And Rob, yes, Rob, you were on it, yes.
Yeah.
But do you think Rob would
Wes would be too obvious, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. I think what the obvious thing would be is if he murdered Wes.
Yeah.
That would be obvious.
I feel like
anyone else?
I feel like it's going to be someone completely random, kind of like a Tom or a Sam in this spot, just because I feel like the Traitors turret is going to be so heated, so fiery. I feel like everyone's got
Don't forget to murder someone.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like everyone's kind of got their own people. So I don't think anyone is going to budge because I feel like everyone's going to know that this next round table is when all the Traitors are going to come at each other. So you kind of need your people in your corner around. So I feel like it's just going to be someone random. Even maybe like a Gabby, potentially, which I'd hate to see her go, but she was up for murder.
I don't think it'll be Gabby because Dylan voted for Gabby. Rob supports Dylan, so he wouldn't do that. I think that's that would just be too obvious for that. But maybe Brittany or someone like that. Yeah,
I still think Lord Ivor because who's he working with?
True.
That's a good point.
No one.
Yeah,
he's just sort of he's a lone wolf, I think, and he's just getting a little bit more too chummy talking about what everyone's doing. And anyway, that's what
does that mean he's not a threat though? Because he doesn't have the numbers to like sort of bring a group together.
But are we getting rid of threats at this stage?
Well, but potentially,
because I think the Housewives thing was pretty loose. It's sort of based on other seasons rather than this season.
Yeah,
I think they're going to. I think Sierra's maybe going to be banished next week, which is crazy because she hasn't done anything.
Yeah,
and then maybe it's
I don't see the Housewives alliance as a strong alliance anyway.
No,
absolutely
not. No, not like other years.
Yeah.
How about you, Michelle? Who do you think is going to get potentially murdered?
I don't think it can be anyone that's actually mentioned Rob's name because Rob's not going to go with that. I think it's just going to be. I think, as you say, that he's going to try and go for another woman.
Yeah.
To get another female out.
Yeah.
I mean, something you could do. Maybe this is really overplaying it. But if you go for someone who has a shield, people might think that there's been a recruitment, and then the suspicion starts all over again. Anyways,
it's a pretty smart move. The thing is that in that case, they will actually send a letter to the traitor that has the shield. So send the person that has a shield. So because they publicly know who has the shield, then that would just be stupid. Like. You could figure it out. Oh, someone's purposely done this, and it's a bit of a false move like that. But if it's the case where the shield is anonymous, then it's pretty clever. And we've seen that in UK season 2. It happened. It accidentally happened in my season, and it happened in a certain other season that may have just finised. So I won't. No spoiler here if you haven't seen UK season 3.
Oh, yeah. I need to watch UK season 3.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, it probably wouldn't have. I still feel like there are too many people to do it now. You'd want to do it later in the game to really sort of solidify you as being a faithful if you're a traitor.
Yeah, and I guess one final question for the night: is Carolyn going to take out Danielle, or do you reckon Danielle's going to be able to take out Carolyn?
I reckon Danielle's going to take herself out.
Well,
Why not?
I don't think Danielle can get taken out unless Caroline and Rob do it together.
I reckon if anyone brings up the fact that Danielle was absolutely shit at that mission and isn't scared of being murdered, that's enough for her to be banished.
I think Chriselle's going to take herself out. I think that's what's going to happen next episode.
Take myself, kill myself.
Yeah.
Who did that? Joe did that in season 2 of New Zealand. He voted for himself.
Oh, that's right. He
to
did.
be banished.
Oh, and I don't think they let him as well. Oh, did they?
Really?
They did let him,
they
even
did,
though I don't. In the rules, it says you can't vote for yourself, but he just did it. Can't really.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Yeah, no. I mean, I feel like that's probably the best way to prove that you're a faithful. Like, just be like very upset, angry, just vote for yourself, and be like, "I'm done. I don't care."
Had enough.
Or do what Kate Chastain did on season 1 of USA and be like, "Please vote for me. I don't want to be here. Just get me out of here." Ugh.
Well, speaking of Kate, I don't know if you guys saw this like in the trailer for the season, but there is actually a shot in the trailer where we see both Kate and Parvati in these dresses. And it looks like it's some part of mission. I don't know. I don't think they'll be coming back into the game. Cool. Yeah, hang on. I'll see if I can quickly find it. Give me one second.
They would have to fly them over to Scotland for a thing.
Yeah,
actually, vaguely, I remember the shot. Actually,
is it? Are they there in the castle, or is it like a shot of them that is then like a poster or a picture that they see?
I feel like it's more to do with the mission, kind of like how Dr. Will, came back. I'll see if I can quickly find it.
I think it's really cool when they bring people back to like previous contestants back onto a show.
Yeah.
It's
cool. You should watch
it
Australian Survivor. They do it like every 3 seasons.
Yeah. I mean, like it's a little gift thing. Like they're involved in this thing. We had David Corrales back on for a season of Taskmaster just for one task after he'd been on a previous season, and it was very funny.
We might put on Instagram, Mucky. We might put on Instagram instead. I don't know if we can stream it.
Oh, yeah, true. Hang on. Give me one I'm just trying to see if I can find an image.
Sorry to be a fun nut.
You've got to print it out and hold it up to the screen.
Hold it up. Hang on.
Put it on. Or get it on your phone and then hold your phone up to the camera.
And print it off, send it to YouTube.
Like they do at Microsoft.
Hang on. I've got it. I've got it here. Hang on. Don't worry. There's no copyright. Let me just get rid of all my.
Oh well, goodbye monetizing this live.
Goodbye monetizing. Here we go. It's this shot here.
Oh wow.
Oh, I see.
That is very much zoomed up. Yeah, but it's this one.
Stop it.
Are they wearing?
They're there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
God. We haven't seen that
version. See, I wonder if that is in the UK. Because the UK season is finished and they do many of the missions the same. The one this week with the jars was different, but there is a mission where it's like a chessboard, and they have certain pieces on them that you place, and the traitors had to sort of were asked the night before which player is like the most irrelevant and which player is the leader of the pack, that kind of thing. And I would guess that this is related to them, and those two are playing some sort of part in that chessboard.
Well, that was worth it, Mucky. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
You're so welcome. I mean, I feel like this could be happening soon, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know.
Like for like a mission? I don't know.
What episode are we on? Episode 5.
Episode 5, yeah.
Of 12.
And there's
they obviously didn't record this at the same time as Deal or No Deal Island, or at the same time as Australian Survivor versus the World. Like, how many things can Parvati be on at once?
Booked and busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh,
yeah. Well, TJ did bring up here Sam. Sam is hinting pretty hard, got himself to be back on Traitors. Well, I did hear that Traitors Ireland is going to be like casting and filming pretty soon. Are you going to fly to Ireland?
I would love to. My family is.
You and Julia can play.
Reunited again.
I would love to play Traitors again with Julia. She is fantastic. When we're on the same team, it's really good. Although, oh no, I owe her one. I voted her off last time. I really have
Oh,
to.
good for you.
I feel like I should probably give her this. The
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I was hinting just then, but I was actually in season 2 of Traitors New Zealand.
Yes.
I had a little
that's true.
cameo, which was
That's true. You were
which
the butler.
was pretty
Yeah.
awesome. And I would,
No,
I,
that
would
was
love,
so cool.
I would love for there to be a 3rd season of Traitors New Zealand. If you're listening, TVNZ, I would. New Zealand on air. That would be great to make another cameo.
He's so good.
Yeah, it'd be phenomenal. But unfortunately, that does bring us, to the end of our podcast. Which, if you're new to the channel, I'm sorry, Sam. Keep going.
No.
I
I was just about to say something. Oh,
gosh,
classic.
My gosh,
It's happened every time.
Oh,
In
gosh,
fact, Paul, if you'd like to
Yeah, Paul. Yeah,
Oh,
we just want to trigger Sam right back into Traitors New Zealand.
And if you want to trigger Sam even more, hit the subscribe button. I feel like Sam would be so mad if we somehow got more subscribers based off talking about one of the greatest shows to ever land on this earth with a bunch of very colorful and amazing people. Thank you all so much for tuning in, everyone. And we'll catch you all next week. Ka kite anō, everyone. Have a good
Peace.
night. Bye.
Bye.